Hello. When last we left off,
How many times before you just like have to move forward? Forgiveness. Matthew 6:14 and 15. Forgiveness.
preach it, brother. Tell me what a jerk I am.
For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins.
You hear that, everyone? Shame on you for not liking Darrell.
That's Jesus himself, God himself.
Yeah, even he says,
I point no fingers towards anyone in judgment to say, how could you say this? And how, like I said before,
this is like at least the 8th time during this speech that he brings up the victim's impact statements, and it's just ridiculous he keeps doing it because it's not mitigating at all, and it just makes him look like a vindictive asshole.
how people process this tragedy is how they choose to. I could jump up and down and yell and scream about what was said in regards to me, but why?
Why even bring it up? Makes no sense.
Everyone has to make their own peace with God, and that's what I've done. Regardless to what people think, I've done it.
And this is at least like the 8th time him bringing up his relationship with God. It's also irrelevant, and he keeps going back and forth between these two concepts throughout this whole two hours. He talks about the victim's impact statements and how they shouldn't have said that stuff about him, and then he talks about his relationship with God. Neither of which have anything to do with how he should be sentenced.
I don't want that to be confused with being at peace. It's a process, but I've made my peace.
We don't care. It's irrelevant.
That is the only reason why I made the comment that I have a clear conscience. It was not pertaining to remorse. It wasn't mockery. It wasn't to thumb my nose at anyone. That wasn't what that comment was about.
More
I've
weird stuff.
chosen to do that because it was needed.
It was needed.
It's easy to lose your way in a world because the world is, as we all know, is It's a big place, all types of things.
So after going back to other parts of the trial, I noticed when it comes to like his weird facial expressions, like the lip smacking and like the really animated stuff he does with his mouth, he doesn't normally do that. He only does that during his speeches. So I think like he has the impression that when he makes all these weird facial expressions, it has some sort of impact while he's giving a monologue. It's like the more facial movement there is, the more it's impacting you.
Hopeless. Are out there. All types of. It's easy to get caught up in the world. I can't and I refuse to live the rest of my life trying to please other people.
You don't have a choice anymore.
I still have a long way to go to get to where I need to be.
Your lack of desire to exist to please
But my
other
life
people.
now is about pleasing God. It's about what He wants, not what I want. It's about what He wants, not what everybody else wants.
Your lack of consent is even more pleasing to everybody. So that's out of your control.
I brought up God's will. Yet another comment that was taken out of context.
Yeah, you jerks.
A comment that again was not meant in a disrespectful manner in any way. Was not meant to thumb my nose at anyone in any way.
Everything you do is meant to accomplish those goals. The second you get out
It
of
was
bed in the
the
morning.
acknowledgement that God is in control of everything. Everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly. He is in control. That's what that was pointed towards. That and that alone. For those of us who do believe, we always been taught that God, His ways, not ours. What He sees fit to do, we can't stand in the way of it.
If he tells you to mow down 68 people, you mow down 68 people. You don't ask questions.
No matter how much we wish we could, we can't.
Looks like Witch House on Facebook, huh? Scrolling.
Frankly,
Scrolling through
sometimes
Facebook.
that sucks.
That sucks.
I never thought I would be standing here not being able to enjoy a time with my family that anyone would enjoy with their family.
Yeah, why God make him do that? That asshole.
People lost loved ones. I'm sure they feel the same way. They never expected to be here now because of something like this. That is not lost on me.
So he uses the phrase "that is not lost on me" several times throughout the trial. That phrase is inappropriate in this context because typically it's used in reference to like overlookable formalities such as like If your roommates have been doing the dishes, you say to them, "Oh, you've been doing the dishes. That's not lost on me." You don't typically use that phrase to defend murder-based outrage.
To suggest that I don't care, out of everything that's been said during this whole year, that's probably the hardest one.
Is that because it's true? Is that the truth hurting you, Darrell?
To digest. To suggest that I'm heartless.
He says through his cold, beady eyes.
Mr. Brooks, what do you think this court should do as far as the sentences are concerned with all of these convictions?
When I watched this speech live, this moment bothered me a little because I really wanted the judge to let him go on for as long as he possibly could. To this day, like, I'm curious how long he could have gone. It probably would have gone for the rest of the day and maybe into the next one.
Honestly, Your Honor, and I don't want this to be taken out of context.
Yeah, you assholes.
I believe there's issues with me attempting to answer that. And here's why.
Oh boy. You must not understand the true nature and cause of the charges. Right.
I'm still confused.
Here it comes.
I'm still confused on the true nature and cause of the charges. I don't understand them. I also I also believe a decision was already made before we even got here. And I could be wrong. That's not a shot. It's not a slight in any way.
When he says that, is he suggesting that his defense lawyer work would have otherwise been a success? Ah, yes, the conspiracy defense by Darrell. The game with Michael Douglas defense.
Towards Your Honor, it's not, and I don't want that to be taken out of context as well. I will say We'll say help is needed. When you've dealt with certain things as long as
Nothing about anything that you're saying is needed. Needed is the opposite of everything you're saying.
as I have. We have so many questions about where to start. Where to start. We have so many questions about
No, you do.
what can give you the help you need. Who can point you in the direction to get the help you need. There's so many things that you just you don't know where to start at. Your Honor,
Your Honor.
I think that throughout these
Your Honor.
proceedings,
Still hasn't said
and I've
anything.
noticed this,
Still
that
hasn't
you've
said
been
anything.
very observant.
Oh, that's right. He's kissing her feet now.
You've been very attentive. Regardless of me being frustrated with some of the things that has been
Talking to her, he's talking to the judge like they've been dating, and he's like reminiscing about their like silly misadventures.
It's like a dream. What are y'all doing here?
I don't know.
Remember when I was pushing you on that swing?
I can't do anything but look at what you have done, which is
Throw you in a
you
hole?
have um, been very, very keen. I believe that still a lot of issues there.
Oh, don't compliment her too much. You gotta give her a little. Still a lot of issues there, he says. Her judge work isn't quite up to par, according to Darrell Brooks. Darrell Brooks, catatonic defense lawyer extraordinaire. He understands nothing and everything at the same time. He doesn't understand the true nature and cause of the charges, but he knows how to tell the judge how to do her job.
I believe that because of the issues I have, sometimes I may have said things that you probably didn't really understand what I was meaning by it. I'm not sharpest knife in the drawer.
When he pointed his, when he said to her, "How do you even call yourself a judge?" What he meant to say was, "You're the best judge that ever lived."
said a lot of bad things before. I've been thinking, you don't drag me down. I drag me down. And you complete me. Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello.
I think sometimes my mind probably works a little faster than I can articulate something.
I would say the opposite. I would say that you articulate things before your mind even has any idea what you're saying.
Or pronounce something or say something.
Like that.
Obviously, it would be hard to top what was already said about you thus far. You've gotten an incredible amount, a credible amount
Incredible or credible?
of love
Either works.
for your job in this matter. Some even say superhero. Some people, I'm sure you know this, but some people have even dressed up as you for Halloween.
So I still think there's a market for Darrell Brooks latex Halloween masks. Someone's got to start manufacturing those. I'd buy one.
Mr. Brooks, I'm not looking for accolades from anyone. I'm looking here today to sentence you in this case, and I'm frankly more interested in your thoughts on that than your opinion of me and how I conducted myself during this trial.
My opinion on that part,
I have a job
Yeah, be sure to argue with that too, like you argue with everything else. Oh, I wasn't kissing your ass. With like poop all over his lips.
to do today. It's not an easy one. There's 76 counts. I'd like you, if you can and if you want, to tell me how you think I should do that. That's what the victims have stated. That's what the state, right? They provided their recommendation.
The only thing I could say is one thing that should be taken into account is the time that I've served. Been here a year.
Yeah, they'll do that anyway.
That would pretty much negate count 76.
Oh. Well, that's good. One less thing.
And I said, that's good. One less thing.
So there's that. Your Honor, I'm confused. I don't understand the true nature and cause of the charges. So I can't really consent to being sentenced when I'm still trying to. I don't understand.
Yes, the old I don't understand offense. You know what we should do is we should stroll through every prison in America and ask every single inmate if they understood the true nature and cause of their charges. And if not, we'll just release everyone who doesn't understand. That sounds like a good avenue.
Bulldozer plows into a maximum security prison, crushing the wall into a cloud of dust.
It's not a delay tactic. It's not attempting to be disruptive. it's not intended to stop the proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
It's my honest opinion. I have trouble with comprehension.
He has trouble knowing everything and nothing about law at the same time. I can see how that's a challenge. How do you justify either side of that spectrum?
I can't say with 1,000,000% certainty that everything, as far as in regards to me, everything should be looked at in its totality.
Don't say that with your rap sheet.
The
Tell him the only thing that matters is the pudding you ate this morning.
mental health issues, I believe that you've seen them rear their head at times. I believe that I know that you've seen that rear its head at times.
When you were acting like an asshole.
I also believe that you recognize the need for the help that's needed.
I believe that you're gonna treat me like a special
You've
boy.
you've seen things as far back as my childhood.
Is this a reference to his spam story again? Not the spam.
And I believe that you understand the certain needs that would benefit.
Certain nutritional needs that don't involve canned, potted, ham-based meats.
Where to start, me myself, I don't know. There's so many issues that I've been trying to address for a long time.
I mean, his defense was nebulous, but his mental health allegation is also nebulous. It just sounds like a load of shit. Like, can you be more specific about what issues you have? It can't just be, I'm going this here and there and.
A very long time. And I don't know where to start. I have no idea. I can tell you that I want to be able to get to a point in my life where I can have the ability to recognize before before it happens, when
Before what happens? Don't want to say it, huh? Well, it's a little late for that, Darrell. It happened.
something could become out of control, before an outside source can maybe pinpoint it and say maybe something's wrong. I would want to get to a point where I can be able to recognize the signs on my own. I want to get to a point where I don't have a mind that's jumping back and forth and all over the place, and these moves that go from here to here to here to here to here to
Oh,
here
here,
to here, and then
here he
it's
goes
like,
again
oh,
with
cool.
that.
And then it's here to here to here to here. I want to get to a place where
That's not insanity, that's just you being stupid
I can combat that.
and having no self-control.
This, Your Honor, this has not been easy, and not just this, but life in general. It has not been easy. It's not easy to wake up every day and try to figure out how to stay grounded, or how to stay in a
How to not be an
I don't want to say
asshole.
a box, but to be able to
I certainly don't want to say stay in a box. That's off the table, Judge. No box for me.
stay in a straight line, to be able to take life as it comes, to not only be able to cope with things. Things are gonna happen, problems happen.
Not anymore. Not for you.
Life itself isn't easy. I want to get to a point, Your Honor, where I can be able to say, okay, it's okay. It's okay. I can be myself. I can say, you know what? You aren't the only person going through this. This doesn't make you any less than anybody else. I wasn't asked to be born this way, Your Honor. I wasn't. I was not. I don't understand it. But the fact of the matter is I want to get to a point of happiness again. To be able to be medicated and not care what people think. To be able to speak my truth without having to feel ashamed that some people may think of me lesser than a person because I have to be medicated for life, or because they feel like it's not normal.
So that was a really idiotic sentence. I'm gonna roll it back so you can see what I'm talking about.
To speak happiness again. To be able to be medicated and not care what people think. To be able to speak my truth without having to feel ashamed that some people may think of me lesser than a person because I have to be medicated for life, or because.
So he wants to be medicated so he can be around people and not be ashamed that he has to be medicated. It's a paradox. That's so stupid.
They feel like it's not normal. Which lends to the reason why I said not wanting to live to please anyone else anymore. But for me to be okay. Here. For me to be okay.
As if this guy lived his life trying to please everybody else, or anybody else but himself, every waking second of every day.
Because I haven't been for a long time. I'm tired. I'm tired, Your Honor. I'm tired. Some days I don't know what's up or down. Some days I don't know. I want to know.
That line's weird too. It's so cheesy and insincere. I want to know. Like he was just asked by the judge how he wanted to be sentenced and he's refusing to answer. So what is he hoping to accomplish with that? Is she just gonna be like, "Aw, you go free now"?
Mr. Brooks, it's going on 2 hours. I feel like we're starting to cover the same ground over and over. So I'm going to ask you again, because I'm really interested in your perspective. I want to know, as I consider and contemplate and finalize what to do in this case, if there are any sentencing recommendations you have on your own behalf to make at this time.
I want to go to a happy house and paint pictures and eat pudding all day.
I just want to be helped. I don't. I don't want to live with inside this pain anymore. I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for.
Oh, I know you know. You know that she knows that you know. If that wasn't the answer.
Your Honor,
Your Honor, after all that vehement screaming I did at you for the past 2 weeks, I just want you to know that I'm just a silly old boy.
I really would like
Let me
to.
ask it this way, sir. 6 of these counts that you have been convicted of are intentional homicide charges. The options for the court are very limited. Life without the possibility of extended supervision. Life with the possibility of extended supervision as early as 20 years, that's the statute. And third, anything in between. And then lastly, related to that, there's an enhancer of 5 years for each count based upon the jury answering that special verdict question, did you commit the offense of intentional homicide by using a dangerous weapon? Thoughts on that?
I don't.
Of course you don't.
You should spend the rest of your life in prison without ever seeing freedom outside bars. That would be extended supervision. Should these counts run consecutive or concurrent? Meaning one after the other or serving them at the same time? What are your thoughts on those things?
Interesting face right now. Like, is this the first time in the trial he's attempting to understand something? I don't know. Maybe I'm being fooled.
I didn't understand everything you said, but I did. I can't live a million years.
I understand that.
So
But just in case, that's the point. In case medical breakthroughs allow you to live a million
I
years.
feel like I should be able to go somewhere where
With sandy beaches.
I can be helped, where I can be properly evaluated,
and coconut beverages.
where I can be properly medicated. If that is an extended period of a long, long time,
And red SUVs with bar cages on them.
at least I know that I'm getting what I need. Not what I want, what I need.
Oh yes, because uh, because going to the happy house isn't what you want. It's what you need. What you want is being thrown into a prison cell for the rest of your life, right?
At least then I would be able to say, it's okay. You can be you. You can.
Buddy, that does not matter. This this courtroom is not concerned with that. They're concerned with punishing you.
Be grateful for the fact that you have experts, or I don't know if that's the right word, but you have people that know exactly what to do, that recognize exactly what needs to be done and what should be done.
Oh, that's gonna be your life,
To
alright.
be able to,
When you start acting out, they're gonna come in there with a baton and deal with you the way you need to be dealt with.
like I said, be properly medicated, which is extremely needed. I don't know if that answers.
I'll follow it up again. What I hear you saying, sir, is that you don't have a specific recommendation in terms of how long the sentences are, whether they're life, whether they're consecutive, whether they're concurrent, but you're asking me to take into consideration your mental health needs and your desire to get help. Would that be fair?
Yes, I would say. And
And she's being all sweet with him just to get this over with. She's completely about to throw the book at him. Like she's wound up like a pitcher on the pitcher's mound with that book.
I think it should be what you said. What was the term you used?
The extended supervision term, or consecutive versus concurrent?
Yeah. The concurrent.
Right. Serving sentences at the same time versus consecutive, one after the other.
Serving it all together.
There it is, folks. For the first time in 40 years of living, right up to the very end, Darrell Brooks finally listened to another human being and learned from them. You just witnessed history. He learned what concurrent means.
My main thing is, you know, like I said, regardless, is to not just be placed somewhere and just forgotten about. That doesn't help. Obviously, I don't know
Would it be better if you were put somewhere and
how
remembered
that all
about?
works.
How about we put you
But
somewhere, but remember you're there? I remember.
I know that it would greatly benefit me to be able to be somewhere where,
There's sandy beaches.
like I said, I can properly evaluate it and medicate it with the things that I need. It could be something that I haven't even discovered yet, or not me myself, but it could be something that
Was never
maybe way near that could have helped me.
was never clinically discovered? Is he suggesting that more research is needed to figure out how to treat him? And in the future they'll have pills that'll keep him from wiling out and going insane?
Years ago that I probably wouldn't never have known up until this point that could have immensely helped.
He kinda
want
is.
I want the opportunity.
He kinda is suggesting that.
And again, I think we're starting to repeat some of these topics that
Weird
we've covered,
tangent.
and I understand what you're saying,
I
and
want to beat this. I want to beat this. I
I
want the
understand that.
opportunity to beat it, to show that it can be beat.
at this
I don't.
time,
I don't have to live like. I want to show. I want to show that.
I think this statement is actually the most authentic thing he's said the whole time. Because yeah, this is him just going down swinging. He's just going down swinging at this point. He knows he's screwed.
Regardless of anything, that there is still hope. I want to be able to show my children that regardless, you can rise up. You don't have to.
I believe I understand and comprehend your desire to have your mental health issues addressed and met. You've stated that multiple times. I understand that. I can certainly address that in my sentencing remarks here today. At this time, it's been over 2 hours. I appreciate
For the
all
love of
words you've said here
you
today,
know who.
and the fact that you've made a statement.
I apologize for the length. I didn't even
oh, you
It's not
didn't
about
even
time.
realize.
It's okay. But at this time, I would like to take about
Do you imagine not realizing that? Has anyone ever stood up in front of everyone in the world and spoke for 2 hours and not felt like it took 2 hours? It's absurd to me.
just shy of 20-minute break, come back at 3 p.m. and start my portion of the sentencing hearing with my sentencing remarks and the sentence. So at this time, we will be in recess until 3 p.m.
You are done, sir.